Yeah, Iran is, and so is Hezbollah in Lebanon. So, and also the other thing is Syria traditionally is, and Syrians are, and there are a lot of Palestinians, expats living in Syria. You could be in the millions, okay, who are used to be refugees or have repatriated to Syria. Syria is very pro-Palestine and very anti-Israel. And the other thing, they've been fighting over the Golan Heights for years. So if, Assad, like him or not, and I would say the same thing about Gaddafi. Gaddafi had to manage an incredible amount of natural tribal warring tribes and tribes who are competing against each other for years. And this goes right back, hundreds of years, could go back thousands of years. Gaddafi is a strong leader. He kept it under control. And he kept Libya's unified identity, and they had stability. Okay. Now the same thing you could say about Saddam Hussein. I'm not a fan of Saddam Hussein. However, Saddam Hussein kept an orderly house. The same thing with Tito in Yugoslavia, kept an orderly house for a very long time. Once Tito was gone, a slow sort of degeneration of managing all these Balkan tribes and states. And the same thing you have in places like Libya and places like Syria. Assad's a strong leader. His father was an even stronger leader. And the reason is because Syria is fighting for a chunk of its territory. If they didn't have a strong leadership there, Israel had a piece of South Lebanon since 1982, 84. A whole chunk of South Lebanon was under Israeli control until recently. And the same you could say for the Golan Heights. The same you can say for the Dead Sea near Jordan. So it's easy for us to sit and judge and say they should have an open democratic society and they should have this and that and the other. But these countries, Syria is on 24/7 alert for more than the last decade. They're in a 24-hour state of alert war.
Well,
and
obviously, it's about destabilization, not democracy.
Yeah. So, I'm just speaking from the point of view of somebody maybe that's watching this that just doesn't understand why we just can't, come out and have rainbow coalitions and orange revolutions and velvet revolutions. It's not quite that simple in that part of the world. But you do have an incredible amount of provocateuring. You've got foundations who have National Endowment for Democracy. You've got Freedom House. You've got all these George Soros-backed organizations that have been involved in these Twitter revolutions, have taken people out of that country and trained them on a third-party soil to go back and to organize. Kissinger did the exact same thing in Chile. When Allende was president, they would take the management and the labor union leaders out of Chile and to put them on these and they would go back, and that would help turn the wheels of the overthrow of whatever democratic or stable regime was there.
All right.
And this.
Well, I think we'll leave it there for now, Patrick. Obviously, there's a lot going on with the geopolitical situation, and we'll, of course, continue to check in with you as things develop, of course. And that is it for tonight's InfoWars Nightly News. Alex Jones will be back tomorrow with more hard-hitting information. Until then, stay tuned, spread the word, and help support the InfoWars Network and this broadcast. Thank you. Good night.